I think school shootings are bigger than the gun. I think shootings, period, are bigger than the gun because, like we say, guns don't kill people. There's no way a gun can just up and shoot or kill someone.
A person has to put in their mind that they are going to cause harm.
So why aren't we dealing with the real issue? What is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. And I am yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stalker.
And before we get started, we want to say thank you to everyone who continue to subscribe. If you're new here, if you check us out and you like what you see, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff because it helps us grow and we really appreciate it. But we're going to go ahead and get into this episode. And the topic for today is going to be
guns don't kill people.
No, they don't. And there's been a lot of talk lately from a lot of different politicians and all of these things. They want to not only, I think they just want to take the assault rifles, but I also think that the assault rifle ban is leadway into banning guns, period. So with that, it kind of baffles me as to why they don't want us to be able to protect ourselves. And that's a good question. Why don't they want us to protect ourselves? Why they want us out here butt naked in these streets with no, because they can ban guns here, but what if someone comes in and tries to harm us? How do we protect ourselves if they have a gun?
You mean like an individual or the country?
Individual, country, all of that.
Well, their verbiage is that they want to take guns away from young children or not make it, assault weapons from young children, right? I think when you go and look at the guns, it tells you can buy the gun or whatever. And I think that's what their messaging is, but their verbiage is not very clear on, because eventually people are like, well, you can't take my guns. But we want to take these assault rifles away from these children because of school shootings, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but they are very rare.
Very rare.
They're not, we see them because of the media. Mm-hmm. The media makes it big, and I'm not saying you should not make it big. We should know
and
about these things.
And that plays into their narrative of take away guns.
Yeah. Right.
So they're going to blast that.
Right. And so I think, what was the latest shooting he had? He was 14 or something.
Yeah, and they blamed they charged his father as well. Because he had some kind of mental issues, and his father knew the boy had mental issues, but he gave him access to a gun anyway.
So we watched an episode of that on Law and Order, and I think if your child is shooting up something, then you should.
I think school shootings are bigger than the gun. I think shootings, period, are bigger than the gun. Because, like we say, guns don't kill people. There's no way a gun can just up and shoot or kill someone. A
person has to put in their mind that they are going to cause harm.
So why aren't we dealing with the real issue?
And that's what I'm saying. When they charged his dad, then yes, if you are a minor, that adult knows something that's going on within your background. You can't, because anytime that we're seeing it, and then that's another thing when we see, they're trying to take away assault rifles, or they're trying to take away guns, and all these people who are shooting up schools or churches, they have some type of issue. Mm-hmm. Then you'll get a sad story. Well, I knew little Jimmy had this and this and this. So little Jimmy should have the repercussions, and so should his parents.
Absolutely.
Because that means that you are not taking care of your child. You are not being responsible for your child.
It's ultimately is parenting when it comes to school shootings.
If you're playing these stupid games, what is it? What is it? Call of Duty or
Call of Duty,
whatever it is, if you're playing these stupid games and in your mind,
it's desensitizing them to shooting people.
And in your mind, you think, well, I can go do this in reality, then you have a problem. And the problem is that parents are not teaching our children, hey, that what is right and what is wrong.
Self-control.
What is right and what is wrong? What is reality? That is not reality. It's a game that somebody created and that you play. In real life, you play like that, you go to jail. That's how this works. And you go to jail and you sit for a very long time.
And if you shoot something and kill something, it doesn't come back alive. You don't have
lives. You can't wait for an hour. I don't know if that's how it works.
You can't wait. Use the little med pack and it boosts you back up and you back in things.
This is real. And so you say, well, this was an accident. It was an accident. These things are not accidents when you and then you say, well, I want to play around.
They're very intentional.
They're very intentional.
Absolutely.
I don't believe like, I didn't know what I was doing. Kids are smarter than we think.
Mm-hmm. They play dumb.
They play dumb, but I believe
just like adults.
So with that, I think their verbiage is it's whatever, because they're trying to say, well, guns are killing.
But even if they pass a gun law,
it goes against our right in the Constitution.
But even looking past that, if they pass a law, these children are not buying the weapons.
Right.
So a law being passed on banning guns is not going to prevent a child from getting gun
control. There's no such thing as gun control. Because here in Texas, right, we have open carry.
Have uncontrolled
we can
guns.
Open carry. We carry, but legally, right? So you can open carry. Yeah.
You don't need any kind of license.
Right, you don't need any kind of license.
Yeah.
And I think what Texas is saying is be responsible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be responsible. If you're going to be a gun owner, now we see like a lot of youngsters are not being responsible. What do you see? What do you see in rap videos, right? What was happening when all those rappers had those songs out and they were saying what they were doing in songs and stuff, and then they were had video footage, and children are watching the video footage and then saying, hey, I can do that, right? It's about influence, and there's a lot of influence that is happening around what we do with guns, what type of gun this is, what we gonna do. And because of influence, hey, that influencer is showing this, is showcasing this on social media. Well, I want to do that. I'm going to be on the news. I want to do these things. And people aren't, I'm going
to go out with a bang.
And people aren't diving deeper into that. The first thing you do, you want to take away guns.
I don't think they're associating actions with consequences.
Because if they did, then that would make things right. That would make the world go a little bit better, right? If you say, hey, you are wrong, then that means that the world is going in a better direction. But if you say, hey, we're going to stop this, we're going to regulate, that's going to piss people off.
Absolutely. And they're going to want to buck the system even more.
And like
I said before, criminals aren't going to go buy the guns. They're getting them off the streets. There's already guns on the streets.
Right.
So how are you going to eliminate all of the guns? And even if you do, just hypothetically, even if you eliminate all the guns, that's not going to eliminate killers, because being a killer is a mindset. It's the person. It's not the gun. So they'll find some kind of a way to kill something if they can't get to a gun, a knife, a hammer.
Back in medieval days, were they saying take away swords, because that was how they fought, right? Like that was the means of killing somebody,
taking life.
So were they saying with the kings and queens talking about, hey, we're sword control. You can't own a sword. Well, how are we going to defend ourselves, right? Yeah. Well, how are we going to do? How are we going to say?
What about the good people? What about the legal gun owners? Or what about the criminals who are attacking legal gun owners, or people who would potentially be legal gun owners if there weren't laws restricting them from being a gun owner? We have to think about all of the regular citizens, the law-abiding citizens. How are these people going to protect themselves and their families if we can no longer have pew-pews.
I think he said, look past this. And I can't look past it because it was written for us to follow. And the government is saying, we're not going to follow that, but we're going to make new laws. And you don't know. And you don't know because you haven't read the Constitution. You don't know your rights. You don't know what you can do and what you cannot do.
They playing in your face,
and we
like
have
they
the
say.
right to bear arms. And you will get mad at people, but there's a Republican fighting for guns. No, it is written that
what a crazy person does with the gun that they have has nothing to do with what I'm gonna do with what I'm gonna do with my gun.
It has nothing to do. But we have the right to bear arms.
Absolutely, regardless.
Yeah. I have the right to bear arms.
Maybe if you go a little bit further back and deal with the actual person instead of the actual tool that they're using, then we may get some leeway here because it's not the guns.
And so and I don't think there's enough people defending the Constitution to say, hey, this is my right. Now, whatever these knuckleheads are doing, you handle them and you put accordingly and you put them in jail. Or these people, these parents, yes, where are those at? They don't even have those anymore.
They put you straight in jail.
But there has to be some type of consequence for the people. Not say take away guns and you just won't have a gun. Well, like you're saying, how do I protect myself? If somebody runs up in my house, what do I do? You want me to grab a spoon? What am I do with a spoon? You need me to buy a sword? I don't know how to use a sword. I had a knife.
I'm gonna get a bow and arrow.
So those are the things that we have to question, and we have to look at the government and be like, hold on. You're trying to be too big in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I need you to be real small in my life because there are some things that you cannot do, that you will not do.
And I don't want you a part of.
But a lot of us are letting them in because, hey, we need more regulation. We need big government. We need big government. The government needs to be in this and the government needs to be in that. That's untrue.
They tell you, we're going to do this for you if you let us in your life.
What was it here in Texas? They were asking people to bring in guns and you got like a gift card or something.
Program.
Yes. What?
That's what Kamala's talking about doing too. The buyback program.
Like what? So I'm going to bring my gun in and you're going to give me $50 because I spent however much on this, right? But you're going to give me $50 to go do what with $50? Like, that doesn't make sense. And then people are going and turning them in. And then if you stole the gun or whatever, there's no consequences. But there should be a consequence if it's a stolen gun.
The criminal ain't turning his gun in.
Like, what in the heck? This is...
Man, you can get 1,000 guns and there's still 1 million more on the streets.
It's strange. But then what are they doing with the guns? They're going to put them back and somebody's going to melt them. They're not going to melt. I doubt they're going to melt them. I highly doubt they're going to melt them. I really believe that they're putting them back on the street and let some criminal have them.
Oh, yeah. Then they're going to buy them back again.
I might be having a conspiracy in my mind, but I really believe that. And I really believe that.
Sounds about right.
It might be a conspiracy. I really believe they're taking people's guns and then say, hey, we're going to put them back out on the street.
Just like they take drugs and put them back on the street.
Like it's the dumbest thing. Dive deeper, y'all. Y'all got to read some things to understand that it's a game. It's a big game. And social media doesn't make it any better. Media doesn't make it any better. I was reading a book called Propaganda by Edward Bernays. And
we're going to put it in the description. Y'all can check it out.
It is wild because this book was written in the 1920s. And he talks about how propaganda works. The media. How the media makes us do the things. And yes, literally, it makes us do the thing. Like right now, because it is an election year, everybody is up in arms about who's going to be, the next president. We're not going to go with her. We're not going to go with him. And the media
is pinning everybody against each other.
It's doing that.
Yeah.
It's saying, hey, we got you. And then when whoever becomes president, then you're supposed to just mellow out or whatever. It's propaganda, but the book is called Propaganda. It's gonna mellow out.
Watch how quick after the presidency is announced, how things.
Nobody's gonna care.
No one cares. No one's gonna care anymore.
Nobody's gonna care. Y'all don't even care.
On to the next.
Nobody said anything about Biden or anything, right? But I digress. We're talking about gun control.
Straight up. Or lack thereof is what we need. We need less control. But
No
like
big
I said
government.
before, what about the legal gun owners? Because
they can't touch. Honestly, you can't be touched, because that means, how will you get my gun? Right? How will you get my gun? You can't come in my house and you can't take it.
That's what Kamala Harris said. She was going to come knock on your door. You can't
come in my house without a warrant. Constitutional rights again. Constitutional rights. What you gonna do? You can't come in my house.
Since
I understand.
when they started caring about the Constitution?
I understand. Don't open your daggone door. You cannot come into my house. This is my home. And then they be trying to shoot. How are you gonna get my gun if it's locked up safely? Huh? How you gonna get my gun if it's in my holster? How? You can't take anything that belongs to me. You can't take something that belongs to somebody. That's
volunteer.
So you're gonna come in my house and you're gonna steal it. Yeah. So now you're a thief. Okay, government. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That was my point. That's what I said. Okay, government.
They out here doing a lot of things.
You can't come into my home and steal anything, because I have rights, and I stand on that. I understand nobody have the Constitution. I have rights. I do. And if you know them, then you can be, oh shit, she knows them. Yeah, I do.
Got to read them to know them.
Got to read them to know them.
Absolutely.
You have no right. You got a warrant. I still don't have to let you in. Well, I do. But you have to search once this place that it says on that paper. You can't go all through my house and stuff. And people don't know that either. Well, I just let them in. Nope. But they can't take your stuff. They can't take your guns, because how you going to get it?
And if you don't know, they'll say things to scare you, to make you move.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how people start snitching.
Be in the interrogation
room.
All right, give me some chips. You want some Popeyes?
We went and asked Johnny, and Johnny said it was you.
Yeah.
No, it was Johnny. Okay, yeah. They play everybody against each other. That's what they're doing.
And that's what's happening.
That's the U.S. way. Play everybody against each other. Goodness gracious. But we need our guns. I know that. And I know that down here in Texas, that's why Texas trying to become their own doggone United States.
Texas has been trying to become their own state since forever. Since they took it from Mexico. Texas. We want to be our own.
Yeah. We ain't trying to abide by none of y'all rules. It's a wild, wild west out here. Straight up. So, I think we've touched on gun control.
Because there's nothing else to say. People kill people.
Yes.
With any situation. A gun does not pick up itself and say, hey, I'm going to shoot you. People kill people. The person has to pull the gun out and stick it up to your head or whatever the heck it is and pull the trigger. People kill people. And there are a lot of people being killed every day, and there are no consequences.
None.
There are no consequences.
None.
We talk about the Black community and all these things, right? But we're not saying that the Black community is number one in having guns and killing people.
I'm beginning to think the Black community doesn't even exist. It's like Black individuals.
Sure. Because I can't group everybody together. You're right.
Straight up.
You are correct.
Yeah. And we're not a monolith.
No. Right. My bad. But even in the Black community, though, but in the Black community, we're not speaking up and saying, hey.
Amongst Black people.
Right.
Yes.
We're not calling a spade a spade.
Huh. Yeah.
Hey, you're wrong for doing that. You shouldn't do that.
Ain't no free Johnny if we know Johnny just killed somebody.
Thank you.
Johnny ass need to be in jail.
We sitting lying to ourselves. That is what's happening.
Ain't no free him until him is free, because he need to be where he at.
So, as I'm not trying to group the whole Black community together, I am saying that we should be vocal about the wrongdoings that are happening within the community, and where we can be honest and say, hey, we should not be doing that.
I don't know who said this, but it was somebody, and he was like, guns don't kill people. Stupid Mickey Fickies with guns kill people.
Was it you that said that?
I don't know who said that. Somebody said that. I got that from somebody.
Oh.
But on that note, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. We're going to catch y'all next week with another hot episode, another hot topic. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Y'all come back. We appreciate all the love and the support. And like always, it's love, peace, and soul.
Hey.
Like Soul Train, baby. Chip.